Hello. Hello. So if you're here, this is going to be the, end of year book troop superlatives live show. um, Sorry, I still get like nervous doing live shows when I'm like by myself. I don't know why, but I do. So, thank you so much to everybody that's already joining on. Um, Hello. I'm seeing so excited to hate on the wrong family some more. Yeah. So if you don't know what a superlatives live show even means, it's basically just gonna be, a live show where we're gonna be voting together on like a bunch of different superlatives. I actually asked on Instagram for some superlative ideas. And so we have some like really interesting ones that I think are gonna be really fun. Hello. Oh, thank you, Greta. I appreciate it. Good morning, Justin. What's up? Hello. Thank you so much to everybody that's already here. That's so awesome. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, so I thought to start this off, I actually have an exciting announcement, kind of. I mean, I don't know if I should wait until more people are here, but I'm excited to announce that I finally made a Discord server for the book troop. This is something that's been asked of me for like literally the whole year, like ever since I started this book club. People have been asking me for a Discord server so we can all talk about the books together on there. And so I have made a Discord server. The link is in the description of this video. And yeah, it's free to join. It's like a public server, so you're free to go over there. I already put up information for like the January book, so if you wanted to start the January book early, you can already go in there and chat about it and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited to finally like figure out Discord and like have a place for that. And also, if you missed, in my last video or in my last TBR video, I announced that the January pick is going to be Where They Found Her by Kimberly McCrate. This is one that I actually had you vote between two different backlist titles on my BookTube Instagram, and this was the one that won. So yeah, pretty excited to read this one together in January. But yeah, if you do want to start it early or whatever, it's already on the Discord like set up for you to go and chat about it now. So yeah, just thought I would let you know. Hello, my friend McKay is here. What's going on? Yeah, awesome. So, I thought, I do have all of the books that were selections this year listed in the description as well, and it's totally fine if you like haven't read, all of them or not that many of them. You can still participate in this. Obviously, like this is just meant to be kind of like a fun way for me to wrap up, the end of the year. And so that's what this live show is basically for. But I thought I would very quickly just go over the selections for this year if you're like, if you have no idea what's going on. So in the month of January, we read The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. This one was an interesting time. This one seems to be like it was very mixed reviews from everyone. I enjoyed this one pretty well. I gave this one 4 stars, but it was very fun to roast as well. And then in the month of February, we read The Wrong Family by Taryn Fisher. This is probably the one that was like the least liked by everyone in our book club. So yeah, this was the February selection. And then we have The Minders by John Mars that we read together in March. This one was kind of annoying because it's kind of like a sequel to his other 2 books, but the author was like not marketing this as a sequel. So unfortunately, I didn't know that it gives spoilers for his other books before we read this one together. So yikes. And then in April, we read Every Vow You Break by Peter Swanson. This was like one of my most anticipated thrillers because I freaking love Peter Swanson. And unfortunately, this one didn't really work for me. But I do know that some people had a lot of fun reading this one this year. So, I mean, this one was also pretty mixed for the book club. And then in May, we read The Burning Girls. This one was actually voted on by you. This one, I gave you 4 different options in May, and then this one won. And this one was actually super surprising. I feel like this one had to be one of the most enjoyed books by everyone in the book club. So, yeah, that's exciting. And then in June, we read The Other Black Girl. This one also, I feel like this one was pretty liked mostly by everyone in the book club, but it sparked some really good conversation. So that was really awesome. I just have to put up Mike. I love who you picked for your co-host in May because it was him. just had to throw that on the screen. um, in July, we read Survive the Night by Riley Sager. Um, this is one that I was highly anticipating this book, and it was probably the book that I was most excited to read for the book troop. And we all know how this one went. So, ooh. Um, and then in August, we read The Taking of Jake Livingston. This was the only young adult selection this year for the book troop, and probably honestly going to be the only young adult selection ever, because I just don't really see myself picking young adult titles in the future, because this one ended up being just fine. And then in September, we read 56 Days. This is like the COVID thriller. This one, it actually takes place during the pandemic. And this one was also like very divided on how people felt about it. And then in October, we read The Last House on Needless Street. This one was very interesting, but also very hard to talk about without like jumping into spoilery things. So this one was an interesting time for sure. And then lastly, last month we just read False Witness by Karen Slaughter. I feel like in these like last like few months of the year, I've started to get like a little bit more happy with the books that I'm picking for this book club, because at the start of this year, I was just picking a bunch of like bombs, but lately, I don't know, I felt a little bit more happy about these picks. I feel like False Witness is also one of the most loved picks I've seen for my book club. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that, to be honest. Let's see. Wow, 9 out of the 11. That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of love for The Last House on Needless Street. I feel like that's also one of the books that's loved the most out of all of the picks I've had so far. Yeah, False Witness. I see a lot of False Witness. 6 out of the 11. That's awesome. Yeah, The Wife Upstairs and Survive the Night was the most disappointing reads, and best ones ended up being False Witness. Yep, I agree. 10 out of the 11. That's awesome. Yeah, well, that's really cool. It makes me so excited to see when people are like participating in my own book club, like multiple times. Like if you've read like multiple of the monthly picks, like that's so freaking cool. So yeah, so anyways, why don't we just jump right into the superlatives? I'm pretty excited about these. Let's see, let me move these books back. Okay. So for the superlatives, I have them written down in this giant journal. I didn't really think about how this was going to be. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just hit you. Okay, so the first one that I have is just going to be your favorite pick of the year that you can vote on. And this one is, I thought I would get this one out of the way right off the bat, because I see people already like listing their favorites for this year in the or in the comments over here. So you can go ahead and vote like what was your favorite book troop pick of this year, like just your personal favorite. Maybe it wasn't like the best book, but like your personal fave, like you had the most enjoyable time reading this book. I saw Justin said The Last House on Needless Street and False Witness are definitely my favorites. Like I think I've seen that a lot, which makes me happy, because those are like the most recent picks that I've had. So that's cool. It makes me feel like I'm getting more, closer to, eventually choosing better books. Next year I have high hopes. Yeah, I see a lot of False Witness. Wow, Burning Girls and False Witness, Burning Girls, The Last House on Needless Street. Yeah, it seems like these three are definitely the top contenders. Ooh, interesting. We got to Survive the Night in there. That's awesome. I'm really happy for anybody that really enjoyed Survive the Night, because I desperately wanted to, but it just didn't end up working out for me. Yeah, False Witness was pretty great. Ooh, okay, cool. We have The Wife Upstairs. That's exciting. Another one for The Wife Upstairs. Another Survive the Night. Ooh, Ashley. Every Vow You Break in 56 Days. That's awesome. See, I love seeing like differing opinions like this, because it seems like the majority does really like False Witness and like The Last House on Needless Street and The Burning Girl is the best, but I do like to see stuff like this. Like, yeah, Every Vow You Break in 56 Days. That's awesome. Survive the Night again. Wow. Well, that's awesome. I think for me, I think False Witness was probably my favorite, or The Burning Girls. Sorry, it's like low in the stack, but I think it's kind of hard for me to pick a favorite between these two. But for me, it had to be between these two for my favorite pick, because I don't know, it's like my memory's already starting to get a little bit fuzzy on The Burning Girls. So this is one that I feel like I'd already have to reread this to like validate how I feel about it. But I really enjoyed both of these books. This one has like major just like midnight mass vibes, I guess, with the whole like religious aspect of this book. Like I don't know, I really enjoyed my time reading both of these. And I think it's kind of cool because these are both authors that I've read from before, so maybe that also had something to do with it. Like I just really enjoy their writing styles, and I've enjoyed other books from these authors before. So that's pretty cool. But I do think The Last House on Neela Street, yeah, I can see why a lot of people are really loving this one. So yeah, that's awesome. Okay, next category is going to be the worst pick, which would be, your least favorite. This is one, maybe like this is one that you DNF'd. Maybe this is one that you like couldn't even get through just because it was like the worst. There was definitely some books that if I hadn't picked them for picks for the book troop, I probably would have DNF'd them myself. So sorry for putting you all through that this year, but um, yes, Ashley, I do think you would enjoy The Burning Girls if you read that one. But all right, let's see. What are the worst? Okay, we got Every Vow You Break. Totally understandable. We got 56 Days. Understandable. The Wrong Family. I think you won't be alone in thinking that. The Taking of Jake Livingston was the least favorite. Yeah, I feel like these books are going to be the most common. Wrong Family, 56 Days, Taking of Jake Livingston, The Minders. I was waiting for that one to pop up. Survive the Night. All right, yeah. The Other Black Girl. This is interesting. I thought it would be more. I thought it would be a lot more of The Wrong Family, because that book. Yeah, The Minders, huge letdown after the other one by the author. I agree. Um, yeah, Survive the Night was a flop for sure. Oh my gosh. Every Vow You Break. I don't support burning books, but for Survive the Night, 56 Days. Yeah. You know, yeah, it's so wild. I feel like there's a lot of books that could have been picked for the worst, and I feel like it's just sad, I feel like my picking of books at the start of this year was not the best. Um but for me, I think my least favorite, yeah, all the books just fell. I think for me, my least favorite has got to be The Wrong Family or The Minders, because The Minders is a book that I would have DNF'd this if I wasn't reading it for my book club, like in a heartbeat, and that's kind of depressing. Also, though, like The Taking of Jake Livingston is another one that I might have DNF'd this if I wasn't reading it for my book club. So like that's unfortunate. But then The Wrong Family was the one that upset me the most. Like this was one of my only few 1-star books of the year. Like I never give out 1 stars. Like it's super rare for me to give out 1-star reviews, and this one did it. I don't know how, but it was just so bad. So it's kind of hard for me to say which one was the worst selection, because like I would have DNF'd these two. So I mean, I guess I should say these two, but this one also just like pissed me off. So oh god, I don't even know. The Wrong Family was saved by Judo. Oh man. Yeah, it's the ending of The Wrong Family was atrocious, and that's what sucked, is because um yeah, agree. And that's what sucked, because I thought like the beginning was at least like slightly interesting. Like, I thought it was like heading in a cool direction. Like it started off not that bad. And so that's why I think it was such a bummer that it ended up like sucking so terribly. Um but yeah, anyways, let's move on. We have so many superlatives to get through. So next one is most likely to reread. So this is going to be the one that maybe it wasn't like your favorite, but this is the one that you're most likely to reread and want to pick up again, if there's any. I mean, I know maybe none of these are books that you would want to reread again. I know a lot of people don't even enjoy rereading like thrillers or horror kind of stuff, but I really love rereading some of my favorite thrillers. So I was just curious if there's any that you would want to reread. And while you're putting that, let me grab the books that fell. So many that fell. Because I think for me, the book that I would like to reread, as I just said, is The Burning Girls, mainly because my memory's already starting to get a little bit fuzzy, but I just remember enjoying this one so much. So I feel like I'd want to reread this one. But yeah, see, Needless Street. Yeah, I feel like this one would be a really good reread because once you read it again, knowing what's going on, I think that would be very interesting. Um, yeah, I see The Burning Girls and Needless Street a lot. False Witness. Um, to be honest, though, Survive the Night was such a hot mess. I'd love to revisit it. I can see that. 56 days if I was on fucking drugs. Oh my god. That's amazing. Yeah, I agree. Needless Street would be pretty interesting. Would be a pretty interesting one. That's pretty awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, it seems like we're all in agreement that The Last House on Needless Street would be a really cool reread, and The Burning Girls. Gosh, I need to my books are just flying everywhere. Okay. Next is going to be Most Fun to Roast. So this is going to be the book that you didn't enjoy, but you had a really great time roasting it. And I feel like, especially oh my gosh, at the beginning of this year, I feel like every single live show that I had was a roast until The Burning Girls. But it just kind of sucks because I know some people were mad that every live show was roasting books, but it's also I don't know how I'm gonna feel about these books until I read them, because it's not like I read them before their selections. I read them with you, so it's kind of hard because I don't always know how I'm gonna feel about them. But I don't know. I've got to say, I mean, out of these, I think the most fun for me to roast was The Wrong Family and Survive the Night. It was just these books just made it so easy. Yes, I see every Vow You Break. That was also an easy one to roast. 56 Days did need to be roasted. I feel like we didn't go as hard with the roast in that live chat. Survive the Night because it gave me drunken content. That's true. I mean, if it gives you drunken content, then that's a sure winner right there. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that The Wrong Family was very fun to roast. I mean, the ending of this, The Wrong Family, what? I know I did feel bad for my mom because my mom just really my mom enjoyed Survive the Night a lot, and then me and my sister were just roasting it the whole live show. But my mom's so sweet. I mean, I love that my mom loved this. I'm so that's amazing because clearly it didn't work out for us, but that's awesome. Yeah, it seems like we're in agreement there. The Wrong Family is just ugh. Yeah, or The Wife Upstairs. And that's funny that you said Survive the Night or The Wife Upstairs because my sister was on both of those live shows. But yeah, me and my sister actually both really enjoyed The Wife Upstairs. It was just too easy to roast it, even though I still liked it, Okay, cool. So next is going to be most likely to get a movie or TV adaptation. This isn't the book that you want to see get a movie adaptation, but this is the book that's most likely to get a movie adaptation because of either the buzz or the potential or something like that. So any thoughts there? I was gonna say I feel like every Vow You Break for some reason in my mind has the most movie potential. I could see them making this into a movie, or even Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I feel like either of these would probably actually do better as a movie than the books. But what do you guys think? Yeah, Survive the Night because Riley Sager is super popular. That's what I mean. Oh yeah, The Wife Upstairs. I could totally see that becoming a movie. Yeah, I agree. False Witness would be so good for adaptation. That's probably the one that I would like to see become an adaptation. But yeah, Yeah, The Wife Upstairs, Survive the Night. Survive the Night. Survive the Night would be a bomb week by week show if they changed the ending. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yes, this too. I can also see them. Yes, Ashley, I could see The Other Black Girl as a Netflix miniseries. I agree. I know, I'm kind of surprised Riley Sager has not had an adaptation made yet of any of his stuff. Because his stuff, I can see it's like, pretty popular. I can just see. Yeah, I agree. It should have been a screenplay to begin with. I think it would also be a little bit more suspenseful in a movie than it was in the book. Because in the book, I was just getting frustrated. But, like, I don't know. Maybe it would be the same. I'd love to see the 90s vibes of Survive the Night, though, in a movie. 56 days because Hollywood wants to capitalize on the corona trends. I mean, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see Survive the Night as potential. Wow, that's pretty cool. 56 days as a series? That would be interesting. Well, dope. Let's see. What's next? Oh, the next one I had is the book that you want to see get a movie or TV adaptation. Because this one might be different than the one that's like you think is most likely to. Because I think for me, the one that I'd be most eager, like I would drop everything in a heartbeat to see this movie would be False Witness. Like I would love to see False Witness get an adaptation. But also, like you guys were saying, like The Other Black Girl, if this was like a Netflix miniseries or something, this would be fantastic. Like I think this would be so good as a miniseries. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? What do you want to see get an adaptation? Yeah, see, The Last House on Needless Street, that would be interesting. Not sure how they would do that, to be honest. Yeah, The Burning Girls did make me think of like a BBC mystery show. I can easily see that one. Yes, oh my god, if Jordan Peele adapted The Other Black Girl, that would be interesting. And I'll keep trying to think about who could be cast in False Witness. I don't even know. I feel like Florence Pugh would have to be one of the sisters. Like, I just love Florence Pugh. I want her in everything. Oh my gosh, like her and Saoirse Ronan again as sisters, like Little Women reunited. I don't know if they're too young. They're probably too young, though, to pull off the age of those characters. Ooh, David Lynch adapting The Last House on Needless Street. Yeah, I agree that it would be very interesting to see The Last House on Needless Street. I just don't know how they would do it. Yeah, every Vow You Break. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Ooh, Kate Winslet for False Witness. That's so funny you say that because I was like thinking how this book is it kind of reminded me of like Long Bright River, and Long Bright River kind of reminds me of Mare of Easttown. And ever since Mare of Easttown, yeah, like Kate Winslet is just like I didn't think she would be good for roles like this, but now like wow, Mare of Easttown was so good. Yeah, I haven't read False Witness yet, but I would love for another Karen Slaughter adaptation. That's so cool. Has she had an adaptation before? Or would this be her first? Like, I don't know. Maybe I missed it. Okay, so next is going to be the best plot twist. Like your favorite plot twist that you read in one of these books for the whole year. And I don't even know what did I put for this. I think I put my favorite plot twist was The Last House on Needless Street. I mean, if you can even call this like a plot twist. But this one was like the most shocking to me out of all of the books that we read this year. Because I can't think of any other book that had like a really shocking moment for me. Oh, okay, Pieces of Her is coming to Netflix this year. That's right. I think I did hear that somewhere. I haven't read Pieces of Her yet, though. Oh, yes, that's right. False Witness Chapter 1. That's so true. I always forget about this, like, twist at the beginning of False Witness. Yeah, because, like, at the start of False Witness, you're kind of confused, and then you're, like, as you start to realize what's happening, you're like, bitch! So, yeah, I forgot about that. Um, yeah, Needless Street. Needless Street for best plot twist. The Burning Girls for a plot twist. See, I wanted to say The Burning Girls, but I honestly can't remember off the top of my head like what the plot twists were. So like clearly that's why I need to reread. um, Survive the Night. Yeah, see, Survive the Night was one that I was hoping to put, but I really didn't like the plot twist in Survive the Night. Yeah, Justin. um, Damn, that's interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. Reverend Jack Brooks being a female in The Burning Girls. Like, I don't even know if this is like a plot twist because it's like, I don't know. You just assume hearing that name Jack Brooks that it's probably a dude, and then it's like, no, it's her. You know, and I don't think that that's I don't know if that would be a plot twist though because that's kind of like I don't know. Yeah, it's not a spoiler. That's what I mean. I know people are like afraid of getting spoiled, but that's not a spoiler. Like I wouldn't consider that a spoiler. But yeah, interesting. Okay, the next one is going to be the worst plot twist. Like, was there any plot twist that you just like absolutely hated that might have like ruined the book for you? And yeah, like we don't have to get into spoilers. Like, just put the book that you thought had the worst plot twist. You don't have to get into specifics about like what it was, you know, so we don't spoil anybody that hasn't read the books yet. But was there a book that had the worst plot twist of the year for you? Like for me, I think I think Survive the Night had one of my least favorite plot twists. Yeah, the ending of The Wrong Family. I would agree with that. That had one of my like least favorite plot twists at the end of it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it seems like Survive the Night is Survive the Night had not the best plot twist. I agree. Like 56 Days had like a strange plot twist because it made it like yeah, I felt like it didn't make sense. It was kind of confusing. Yeah, MK really didn't like 56 Days. um, yeah, The Wrong Family. I feel like yeah, just the whole ending of The Wrong Family. Like, what a freaking hot mess. Um, yeah, I agree with this too because I feel like the plot twist ruined every value break for me because this was looking to be like a 4 or 5 star book for me until that last like 20% of this book or so, and like the plot twist just like ruined everything. So like I would definitely agree that yeah. Yes, same Ashley. Every value break. What a disappointment. I just wanted to love it so badly and now it has me nervous for like potentially picking other Peter Swanson books for like future book troop picks because I'm like, don't let me down again. Because he has another one coming out in like I don't know, March or April next year, I think. And I'm like so tempted to like want to have that one as a selection, but now I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Um, all right, next is going to be the most creepy. Did you find any of these books to be like super creepy this year? I mean, I know as far as like picking horror books goes, most of these were thrillers. So like most of them I don't think were intended to be very creepy. Um, I don't know if next year if I'm gonna, venture more into picking some more horror picks for the book club because technically I think the only book that's categorized under horror that we read is The Last House on Needless Street. But even this one, I don't think that this is horror. Like I wouldn't classify this as horror. I would call it more like a psychological thriller. So I feel like most of these picks that we had this year were thriller vibes. But were there any books that you thought were like pretty creepy or like the most creepy out of all of them? Yeah, because I know some people are probably going to think Needless Street was the most creepy. Um, yeah, I agree that every value break was creepy until it got silly. I would definitely agree with that. Yeah, I was going to say The Burning Girls. That was going to be my answer for like the most creepy that we read this year because that was like the only book that had that like spooky potential that I really enjoyed. Yeah, The Burning Girls because religious thrillers creep me out. I would agree. Yes, PK. Every value break was creepy because an island full of men. Yeah, that was creepy for like just that alone. Yeah, I agree. I forgot that the wrong family had some pretty creepy vibes at the beginning there. Um, yeah, Needless Street was kind of creepy at times, especially involving Ted's childhood. I would definitely agree there. And yeah, that's totally valid too. That like none were that creepy because again, creepy, scary, or creepy, gross. I mean, either one works. Like whatever you found to be creepy, I guess. Um, I was a little creeped out by the epilogue on the the wife upstairs. Yeah, that was a little creepy. Um, that's interesting. I think Survive the Night only because the unreliable narrator thing would scare me if it was me. That's true. I could see that. Okay, next is going to be your favorite protagonist. Did you have a favorite protagonist that stands out in your brain this year of any of these picks? Like, was there a character that you just really enjoyed that was the protagonist of a story? Because I don't know, like I didn't super like I feel like of all the book troop selections this year, I don't really have like a standout like favorite protagonist for me. But if I had to pick one, I would definitely say Lee from False Witness. Like these two sisters in this book were definitely like my favorite characters that I read about. But honestly, like I don't know. Yeah, see, yeah, Harley and Callie. Yep, these are the two sisters in False Witness. Yeah, I feel like they're probably my favorite characters. Olivia the cat. Yes. Yeah, see, I do agree that the mom from the Burning Girls, she was a badass. Um, Olivia, oh my god, that's amazing. I didn't think we would get so many answers for Olivia. That's so cool. Um, yeah, that's what I mean too. A lot of them bothered me too, but Jack was pretty iconic from the Burning Girls. Um, oh my gosh, yeah, can Dr. Jester be the protagonist? Very much agreed. I loved his character. Um, yeah, that's amazing. That's what I mean. I feel like a lot of people really enjoyed False Witness, which just makes me so happy. I know maybe that's like the issue too with me trying to pick a favorite protagonist is because I suck at remembering characters too. So that's why I'm like the most recent pick. I love these characters, but like for real, it probably would have been them no matter what because I loved the sisters in this book. Um, but yeah, they've got to be like my favorite protagonists. But yeah, Dr. Jerry was also iconic. He was also in False Witness. So lots of favorites from False Witness, but also yes, the cat from The Last House on Needless Street. Because if you didn't know, if you haven't read this book with us, this book does have a cat's perspective in this book. It's a religious cat. The cat reads the Bible. It's just a totally wild time. Um, so yeah. Okay, next is going to be your least favorite protagonist. Did you have a protagonist that just absolutely drove you bonkers? Because I can think of a few. I think my least favorite protagonist that I read this whole year was this girl. What was her name? Uh, Charlie. Charlie from Survive the Night. She drove me the most insane out of any protagonist because her decision making skills. Like I think Charlie ruined this book for me. Like I could have enjoyed it if it wasn't for her. Yeah. Yes, oh my gosh, I agree Winnie. Ditto. Oh my gosh, fuck Charlie. Yeah, I agree Juno from the wrong family. Like a lot of characters in the wrong family or so yeah, oh my gosh, I just spaced. I was like, is it even called the wrong family? Yeah, all the characters in this book. Ooh. Um Survive the Night. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's just her decision making skills. I was like, bro, come on. Like what? Um yeah, I agree. I can see Jane from The Wife Upstairs. I can see her being also like frustrating as a protagonist. Um yeah, I can see Nella from The Other Black Girl as well. But nobody pissed me off like Charlie. Yeah, I agree, Justin, too. Everyone from the Minders didn't end up caring for any of them. I couldn't even tell you a single character's name because I don't know. Oh, that's interesting. The school shooter's point of view from the taking of Jake Livingston. Yes. This is not a spoiler for the book, by the way, because in alternate chapters of this book, we get the point of view of the school shooter in this book, which was a choice. Yeah, that was interesting. Okay, next is going to be the most disappointing book that you read this year. So this one, it's not like the worst maybe that you read this year, but it's like the most disappointing. Like maybe you had the highest hopes for this book, and then it ended up being the most disappointing because you wanted to love it, and then you didn't. Because I know for me, like my worst is different from my most disappointing. Because I think my most disappointing, I mean, it's gotta be like Survive the Night because this is like Riley Sager, and I've loved every thriller from him so far. So I was major disappointed that I didn't love this one. And then same with every Vow You Break, as I said, because these are two of my favorite thriller authors. So I just went into these expecting to love them, and so I was like super disappointed by these. Like these should have been a lot better, you know. um, but yeah, the Minders. The Minders is another one. Like I thought John Mars. Like why would John Mars do me so dirty with this? I also just think that this was so like repetitive and boring. Like I would have DNF'd this if it wasn't a pick. So, yeah, I still liked it, but the other Black Girl only for the ending. The ending was disappointing. I can see that. The Minders because I didn't like that it relied so heavily on its other books. Exactly. Because this is a sequel and it tries to make you think that it's not, but it is. Yes, agreed. Easily Peter Swanson. Like, how do I give this guy 1 star and 5 stars? That's what I was saying. Because all of his other books I've enjoyed. So that's like depressing. Survive the Night for sure. Yeah. Shit Vibe the Night. Because I high key Stan Riley, but that book was written on his notes app in one sitting, I swear. Exactly. Ugh, yeah. What a disappointment. But yeah, we're on the same page here. The Minders, I also read the one just before, and the Minders felt like a lesser copy and paste. Exactly. Yes. The Minders was just it's not it. It's not it. Okay, next is going to be, let's see, The Most Forgetful. So maybe this is one that you read this year that you were just like, I don't even fucking remember it. Like like I think for me the most forgetful had to be The Taking of Jake Livingston, because this one, like, we just read this together in August, and I'm already like, I'm so fuzzy on this book, like I just don't remember. So this one has to be the most forgetful. Either this one or, surprisingly, I would say 56 Days. Like I thought that I would love this one, and I just don't have any strong feelings about it. It's just very like forgettable for me. I don't know, because at least with the ones that I've like disliked, I have like strong feelings of like disliking them, you know, but then some of them, like, they're just very forgettable. Like I just don't even remember my thoughts on them because yeah, like 56 Days, it did not stick. It just didn't stick. Yeah, I can't remember anything from the Minders. That too, it's like I just remember feeling an overwhelming amount of disappointment with this, but I don't remember it very well. Wife Upstairs, I literally thought I read that book in 2019. Oh my god, love that. I don't know, Family. Yeah, The Wife Upstairs was the most forgetful because it felt like it dragged on and on. Unfortunately, I remember 56 Days really well because I was so mad. See, that's what I mean, at least with some books that make you mad, it's like at least you remember how you felt about them. Like, yeah, 56 Days was just like, just fine, but it's forgettable. The other Black girls on here. 56 Days, I know, I don't even know. Yeah, that's so true. The Burning Girls, the plot and characters were pretty complex. I even mapped it out before, but can't remember any details now. I feel the same, and that's almost why I feel like I need to reread this one, because as much as I loved it, I also am struggling to remember like what was even happening in that book, and because there were so many characters, it was like a lot. So I feel the same. Okay, next up, we have the book that gave the best discussion. And this is one that I love because even if I like didn't enjoy a book or if I felt like however about it, there were some books that I thought we had really great discussions about this year. And for me, it's got to be. I think the books that gave us the best discussions have got to be The Other Black Girl and The Last House on Needless Street. Um, I read The Other Black Girl with Jesse in June, and I feel like the discussion that we had was a really good discussion. Like, I feel like this was one of the best live shows that I did this year, just because I loved all the discussion that came from this book. And then same with like The Last House on Needless Street. This is one that me and Kayla did the live show for this one in October. And I just feel like we had a really great discussion about this book, and I loved getting the opportunity to discuss spoilers about this one because, it's such a hard book to discuss without spoilers. So it was really great to be able to discuss this book with the spoilers. But yeah, I feel like these two provided really great discussions. Yes, I feel McKay. I was gonna say The Burning Girls just because of the discussion that McKay brought to that live show. Like, seriously, if you've read The Burning Girls but you haven't watched our Burning Girls live show, I think you should watch it just because of McKay, because he's seriously, like, he's so analytical, but like in the best way. Like, he really dissects books very well. So yeah, McKay, I'm gonna have to have you on again next year because I love the way that McKay discusses books. Like, he really just breaks it down and just makes it so much fun. So yeah, I was gonna say The Burning Girls just because of McKay. Um, but as far as like the books that brought the best discussion, I feel like these two books brought a lot of really great discussion. So let's see. Yeah, I think The Other Black Girl I see a lot in here. I definitely agree. Needless Street. Yeah, see, even if you didn't like it, like I do think it really made a great discussion as well. I love Survive the Night because it starred my mom. Yeah, but it was very interesting to have the therapist take on false witness. I definitely agree. That's why I think, I didn't plan that with having Haley for the pick for that live show, but that ended up working out great because I loved having her perspective on that as well. Yes, Other Black Girl. Yeah, exactly. I loved hearing Jesse's view on The Other Black Girl because so many other people at the time were trashing it and they helped me understand it, appreciate it more. I agree. Yes, oh my gosh, I loved all my co-hosts this year, and I'm so grateful to anybody that came onto my channel to talk about books and hang out. Like, it was so much fun. But yeah, that's awesome. It seems like we're in agreement here that these two provided some really interesting conversations. Yeah, I agree. Having my mom and my sister on was so much fun. I was thinking, next summer, because like Riley Sager already announced his next book for next summer. So I was like, maybe I'll have to make that a pick again in the summer and then have my mom and my sister back on for the live show for next summer and just like have that be the thing, have the Riley Sager book be with my mom and my sister as the guests. So yeah, maybe that'll just be a thing. But yeah, anyways, let's see. So the next one is going to be the best book couple. I got requested this one when I put the like superlatives little box thing. Somebody put the best couple, and I was like, that's interesting because I don't like I can't even think of one. So I don't know if any of you had any thoughts on that. I just thought I would, bring it up. But yeah, the best couple out of any of these books, like obviously none of these books were like centered on romance, so I don't know if there's any couples you can even think of. I mean, the only one that had some like romantic elements was like The Wife Upstairs, but like I was not a fan of this couple. So like interesting. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts? Yes, that's actually so true. Lee and her husband, his name was Walter, right? Like I loved them. And yeah, I loved the fact that even though they were split and they were like no longer together, I loved their like respect for each other and their relationship still. I agree. I thought it was very nice. Oh my god. Oh geez. A couple in 56 days. Yeah, yeah, I thought Lee and her husband were great. That's actually interesting. I didn't really think of them, to be honest. Oh my god, Charlie went at the gas station and refused to ask for help. Yes, this comment wins. I got every value break. This is what I mean. This isn't a good question because these books are thrillers, you know, they're not meant to be like romantic. 56 Days didn't give you quarantine goals. Oh my god, I love it. I know what there was a couple in the Burning Girls, right, that we were like intended to root for. I think it's been a minute, but yeah, I think I remember that. Um, oh, that's so great. Okay, okay, next one is going to be the most surprising book for you this year, and that's like I think surprising in a good way. Okay, so let's say like you went into this book just kind of being like, meh, you know, not expecting much, and then you were like, holy shit, like this is fire. Like you weren't really expecting much from it, and then you were kind of surprised. Because where did I put? Oh, I put well, okay, I have The Last House on Needless Street as one of my most surprising this year, but I actually went into it expecting to like it, but I guess I was surprised by like I don't know the depth of this book. Like I just wasn't expecting it to be like to go into that direction, you know? Um but I don't know, what do you think? What is like the most surprising like in a good way for you this year? Um okay, I'm seeing a lot of okay, yeah, The Wife Upstairs, that's awesome. Needless Street, The Taking of Jake Livingston. Hey, there you go. I was hoping like some people would enjoy this one this year. The Burning Girl is because I legit didn't think I was gonna like it because I thought it was gonna be paranormal. That's not my thing. I know. I was kind of nervous about the Burning Girls too because I don't know if I like love religious themes in books like that, but I really enjoyed the Burning Girls too. Every value break because I expected to hate it, but sadly I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 because of who I am as a person. Oh my god, that's great. False Witness is your first Karen Slaughter. That's awesome. Um, yeah, The Last House on Needless Street became one of my favorites of the year, and I was not expecting that. That's awesome. The Burning Girls because her other books were a bit too not real. Yeah, she tends to have some like paranormal themes in her books sometimes. Um, Interesting. The Wrong Family. I didn't expect Juno to do some of the things she did. I don't want to spoil it, but man, when I found out where she lived. Agreed. Um, Last House on Needless Street because I never would have heard of it or picked it up. Well, that's awesome. That's what I like to hear. It makes me happy when people like read the book because of the book club and then ended up loving it, you know? So that's cool. Um, and that too, like I'm so glad you ended up loving Survive the Night because, you know, as I said, I desperately wanted to love it. So I'm glad that you loved it. And yeah, I agree. Like I would classify this more as like a psychological thriller than a horror book. Like I don't know. I just personally wouldn't call this one horror, but that's just me. I mean, what do I know? It was nominated for horror at the Goodreads Choice Awards, so I don't know. Um, all right, and so then let's see. This one I thought was kind of funny. Somebody submitted this one. They said most likely to go viral on booktok. I don't know if I'm the right person to, you know, say something for this because I'm not really familiar with booktok and like what's popular on booktok, but I just thought that this was a funny one because like I don't know what would make something go viral on booktok, but I just thought, you know, if you guys have any thoughts on this, like I don't know. I feel like something that would probably go viral on booktok is like maybe Survive the Night, just because I can see this one. It's like pretty popular. You know, I don't know, but yeah, let me know if you had any thoughts on this. Um, yeah, False Witness or Survive the Night. I think because they're popular authors. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what does it take for a book to go viral on booktok? Like, is it because the author's popular? Like, I don't know. Um, every value breaker the wife upstairs because they were basic. That's what I mean. I'm like, does a book have to be like basic for it to go viral on booktok? Like, I don't know. I'm just not very familiar with booktok. Like, I'm not on booktok, so I don't know. Um, yeah, maybe the wife upstairs because of Jane Eyre. That's what I mean. Like, I don't know. Um, Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with booktok, so I just thought that that was an interesting see, that's none of them were smutty enough. That's what I mean. I'm like, what does it mean for a book to go viral on booktok? Like, I don't know. I don't know these things. Um okay, so next one is going to be your favorite cover. We're going like shallow here. You know, your favorite book cover and your least favorite book cover of this year, because as much as I do love being shallow and like picking books just because I love the covers, I tried to pick the books with like the best premises, because we're going to be reading this all together. I want it to be good, but I also noticed that this year I chose so many books that have like a freaking teal cover. Like, it's insane. I didn't even notice this until I was like putting them all together. Like, I had at least 5 selections this year that had this like blue tealness on the cover. So I was like, what the heck? Like, clearly I'm drawn to this vibe. Like, what is going on? Isn't that strange? I don't know. I just thought it was so weird. Like, all of these books just have like this blue green kind of vibe to them. So, I mean, clearly I'm drawn to like covers that look like this, but I'm just curious to know if there were any book covers that you love. See, I agree that Survive the Night had a great cover. I do love that cover. It's very like Halloween. I like the orange on the blue like that. I agree that this is like a very appealing cover. Yeah, I just wish the content was different. um let's see. Yeah, see every Vow You Break. I feel that. It's beautiful. Yeah, I agree. There's something about the Every Vow You Break cover. It's just like beautiful. Like, I would pick this up again and again, like this is a beautiful ass cover. I feel like Peter Swanson usually has pretty like appealing book covers too. Like, I really like his new one too that's coming out next year. It's like so moody. Yeah, I also don't like when book covers have real people on them. I don't know if any of these have a real people on them. Well, I guess I don't know. I don't know. This looks kind of like it could be artwork. I don't know. I don't think any of these book covers have like people on them. I don't know. Um, that's interesting. I think the cover of False Witness looks basic and doesn't reflect the book. That's interesting. Um, yeah, every Vow You Break background Survive the Night for font. That's important. Yes, I would agree. Every Vow You Break's cover looks like a Prison Break Shutter Island kind of vibe. Yes, any books that look like they have like island vibes just from the cover. Yes. Agree. I'm here for it. Yes, I also agree. I love the other Black Girl typography and color combo. I agree. It's just like so pretty. And I love this blue, like this bold blue. I think it looks so nice. So yeah, that's cool. Anyways, um, let's see. So the next one is going to be the most gory. So this is maybe like something that you found to be excessively graphically violent. Maybe it was like, because it's interesting because I only ask this because I feel like some people find different things about books to be gory, because I would honestly say, and I think the one that a lot of people might say is False Witness by Karen Slaughter was the most gory book that we read together this year. But I also think that this is the least gory for me out of all of Karen Slaughter's books. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, like False Witness was pretty gory in terms of like graphic violence and like pretty intense trigger warnings for this one. Um, I know I had a lot of people, letting me know that they had to DNF this book because it was too much. So I don't know, but yeah, 56 Days had maggots, and I was not here for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, see the drug scenes in False Witness. That's kind of what did it for me too. I was like, ugh. Most gory was 56 Days because it brutally murdered my fucking Wilder. I can't. I can't. It's just too great. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. I guess False Witness, but it's mild compared to her other books, at least in terms of like actual graphic violence on page. The Taking of Jake Livingston. That's interesting. I don't know if I found that one to be super gory, especially because it's like young adult. I mean, I guess for like a young adult-ish pick, it was pretty gory. Um, yeah, I would agree though. It's definitely not as gory as her other books. Um, Interesting. Okay. Next is going to be the best premise. So this is going to be the book that like lured you in the most because you thought the premise was like chef's kiss and everything, and you would have read this book no matter what, even if it wasn't a book club pick, because that premise though, you know. And so this is even if it ended up disappointing you in the end, like which book had your favorite premise, like no doubt you would have been like on board to read this fave. um because I don't know. I actually really liked the original premise for The Last House on Needless Street because it was super vague, and I really liked that about it because it was just like there's a house at the end of the street and there's a serial killer and there's this, and it's just like it was such a vague premise that it just immediately gripped me. Like I wanted to read it right away. But I also think I was really interested in the premise for 56 Days too because I was really interested in the idea of a thriller that takes place during COVID and like following people who are quarantined, and there's like that's an aspect of the thriller. I was really interested in that. But yeah, I'd love to know, what do you think for the most intriguing premise? Um, yeah, Survive the Night. I think just because it was Riley Sager, you know, I was super excited about it. But to be honest, Survive the Night is my least favorite premise for a Riley Sager book, anyways, because I love Riley Sager when he has like, you know, like spooky vibes in his books. Like those ones tend to be my favorites, like Lock Every Door, Home Before Dark, and The Last Time I Lied. And so those ones have like spooky vibes. So to be honest, I wasn't super excited for the premise of Survive the Night, but I was still disappointed by it. But it wasn't my favorite premise, you know? Um, yes, okay, False Witness. I love reading about crime and lawyer stuff. I can see that. The Burning Girls, such a good premise. I'm here for religious thrillers. Yes, The Wife Upstairs because I love Jane Eyre. The Other Black Girl, I love the premise in that pitch of Get Out meets Devil Wears Prada. I agree. That pitch was very interesting, and I do think that it held up to that pitch for the most part. Um, no, Rock Paper Scissors was not a pick this year, but I kind of wish it was, to be honest. I feel like at the end I'll go over a few books that I wish I had picked as book tour picks this year because I think they would have made like chef's kiss discussions. But no, Rock Paper Scissors was not a pick this year. And to anybody who's just joining in now, we're only mentioning books that were like book troop picks this year because this is like my book club Superlatives live show, just for anybody that doesn't know that. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, Survive the Night because it kind of reminded me of No Exit. That's what I hear a lot about Survive the Night. Yeah, same Ashley too. It reminded me of No Exit. Yeah, the premise definitely did sound like it was going to be similar. Um, Police found 2 bodies buried in the garden. None of them. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. So then I have 2 more left. The second to last one is going to be the best atmosphere. So this can just be like any books that you just thought had the most immersive atmosphere. Like you were just absolutely absorbed and like just obsessed with this book's atmosphere. I think atmosphere is really important in a book. Like it's one of the things that I need the most in a book in order to like love it. I do think that one of my favorite atmospheres was The Last House on Needless Street. I really loved the vibe and the atmosphere in this book. But also like I don't know. I really loved the atmosphere in every Vow You Break for the first half. I thought the island, like this, the creepy island kind of thing going on in the beginning. I loved that in the beginning of this, but I don't know. What do you think? Yes, I thought the Burning Girls also did have a really good atmosphere at the beginning. It's so true. The Burning Girls, small town, middle of nowhere, spooky church. Yes. Needless Street had a creepy atmosphere since I had no idea what the fuck is going on for most of it. I agree there. Yes, see, every Vow You Break, it helped with its readability. I definitely agree with that because I was hooked for the first like half of this book. I loved the like island atmosphere. Yeah, the burning girls, I didn't want to put it down because it was creepy. Yeah, the midnight mass mood. Yes, very much agree. Every Vow You Break because I like swimming. Oh my god. Yeah, I do love the like suburban vibes of the wife upstairs. I would definitely agree. Like that tends to be one of my favorite atmospheres in thrillers is like suburbia or like following like rich people and seeing them just like, downward spiral. Like that's also one of my favorite vibes in thrillers, so I definitely agree with that. Um that's interesting. 56 days. I like the COVID aspect and I thought I would hate it. That is very interesting. Yeah, rich people drama is fun. It's just so fun. Um, okay, perfect. And then the last one is going to be the most unique. Like, what is the most unique pick for this year? Like, maybe something that stands out among all the other picks that you just think is super unique and different. I mean, you could say, the taking of Jake Livingston was unique because it was the only young adult selection. Or, I do think The Last House on Needless Street is my pick for the most unique because this was the only pick that I picked this year thinking that it was horror because I picked this for October thinking that we were going to get some horror in October. But this one ended up being more of like a psychological thriller, but I still do think this was the most unique story for me because this is the one that's going to be, I don't know, it was like the most surprising, it was the most unexpected, it was just like very different from all the other book troop picks for me. So this one's definitely got to be the most unique. But I would love to know your thoughts. Yeah, see Needless Street. Never read anything like it. Needless Street. Yeah, it seems like Needless Street was pretty. Ooh, interesting. The other black girl because of the corporate involvement. That is interesting. Yeah, it's the wrong family because of Juno and her situation. That's what I mean. Needless Street had a cat perspective. It had a religious cat. I mean, it doesn't get much more unique than this book. Like this book was unlike anything I've ever read. So like super unique. Because like most of these books I could think of another comparison to like compare the book to, and that's like something that I was trying to do in like every live show this year was like I would ask the co-host like, okay, if you enjoyed this, what other books would you recommend, or like what other movies? And most of the time I could think of at least one other thing to compare the book to, like if you enjoyed this book you would also like this. But like with Needless Street I was like I have no idea what to compare this to because it was such a unique story, which I think is really awesome. um, so yeah, I love that we all agree on that one. um, yeah, but anyways, I thought I would end this live show by showing some of my favorite books this year that I really regret not choosing as book troop selections because I feel like they would have made for some really great discussions. And I don't know the purpose of doing this. It's not like I can ever make these book troop picks, but it's just, to show you some other options if you were disappointed by most of what you read by my book club this year, you're definitely not alone. So these were some books that I think would have made for some really great discussions that I'm sad that I didn't pick them for book troop picks. Because as far as like the horror goes, I do think Near the Bone by Christina Henry, this is like one of my favorite horror books of the year. I'm actually already rereading this book right now. I'm like currently rereading this, and I would have loved to have this as a book troop pick, just because I do think this one would have made for a really great discussion. And this one's just so interesting and intense, and yeah, I just think this one would have made a really great book troop pick. So I'm sad that I didn't end up picking this one for like a more horror thriller kind of selection. But then some other kind of like mystery thriller books that I think would have made really fun discussions. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. This is like one of my favorite thrillers this year, And I already have an urge to want to reread this one as well. And I'm just like sad that I didn't pick this one for a book troop pick, because I do think this one would have made for a really fun discussion, especially because I see a lot of people not really enjoying this one. So I feel like this one would have made a great discussion, because I have like a burning, passionate love for this book, and I would have liked to see other point of views for like why people aren't enjoying it as much. So I feel like, especially for those reasons, this one would have been a great pick. And it's sad because as much as I like love reading all the book troop picks this year, I didn't have a single book that I have like a burning, passionate 5-star love for, Like I know I keep saying False Witness is like my favorite, or like The Burning Girls is my favorite out of all the selections, but even those were like 4.5 stars for me. Like they weren't like fucking favorites, like these books are. So that's why I think these books would have made for really great discussions, because next year I'm hoping to have at least one 5-star book for the book troop for me. Like that would be cool. Yeah, I see, Justin, I agree. Who is Maud Dixon would have been a fun pick. I feel like that book also had a lot of really great discussion, and I love thrillers that take place in like the book publishing world. So that one would have been a fun pick as well. Even though that one was only like another 4-star for me. I don't know. I know I keep getting asked if I'm going to be choosing more like horror kind of selections next year, and to be honest, like I don't really know. I don't know. I think I would like to do more of a mix of some like horror and some thrillers, but I'm still undecided as far as that goes. And I'm actually going to be launching a Patreon in January, and one of the tiers is going to give you the opportunity to vote on like upcoming book troop picks. So I'm going to be posting on Patreon like little polls each month that'll be like, well, not every single month. I still think there will be some months where I'll still pick the books, but like every now and then there will be like polls where you can vote on like which book you want for that month. So next year maybe I'll throw in some like thriller and horror options into there and just see what gets picked, So we'll see. But some other books that I think would have made for really great picks this year, Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. Oh my God, I seriously, like, this is my biggest regret not making this a book troop pick, because this book has so many great discussions, and I feel like I can just talk about this book all day long. I just seriously, I regret not choosing this. And this one came out in July too. I feel like I should have chosen this one in place of The Taking of Jake Livingston. This would have been the perfect August pick. This book is just so great. It's in like my top of the year, and yeah, I'm just sad. I should have picked this one for the book troop, because I think this one would make really great discussions. And then lastly, the last book that I wanted to mention is one that I actually just read like last week, and this book just came out. So like realistically, it probably couldn't have been a book troop selection this year because it just came out. But I think A History of Wild Places, holy shit, this would have made such a fun book troop pick, because it's just it's so good. And this one's more like it is like mystery thriller vibes. It's more mystery and like not as much thriller, but it does have like some magical realism stuff going on in this book as well. And I just think this one would have been a fun pick because it's just so freaking good. So yeah, that's those are just some books that I think would have made great book troop picks that I'm kind of sad that I didn't. And as much as I would love to like make any of these books picks for next year, it's like, I want to only pick books that I haven't read yet, because then it makes it more fun to like read them for the first time with you. So like that's kind of the that kind of answers that, as far as like I don't know if I like the idea of picking books that I've read before, because then it's like you guys already know how I feel about them, so then it's not as fun going to the live show and being able to like discuss, because I've already discussed it before, so yeah. I think A History of Wild Places, it was a good one. I loved it so much. It was 5 stars. Freaking amazing. So yeah, or to anybody watching that like has their own book clubs, I think those books would be fantastic for book club picks. So yeah, anyways, in case you missed the announcement at the beginning of the video, or at the beginning of this stream, Where They Found Her by Kimberly McCrae is going to be our January book troop selection. This one was voted on by you. I gave you 2 different options for backlist titles, and this one ended up winning for January. And my friend Savannah over at Riveting Reads is going to be the co-host for the month of January. And I'm very excited to read this one together. This one, I've previously read A Good Marriage by Kimberly McCreight, and ever since then, I've become kind of obsessed with Kimberly McCreight. And so for that reason, I'm like super excited to read this. Let's see, what is this book about? So this one, it's about this, let's see, what does it say? Motherhood hasn't always been easy for Molly Sanderson, and the years since the loss of her second child have been a particular struggle. But 6 months after moving from New York City to sophisticated Ridgedale, New Jersey, she's finally enjoying life again as a mother of a 5-year-old daughter and fledgling arts reporter for the local paper. Oh my god, she's a reporter. I didn't even realize that. I love reading about reporters. I just talked about this in one of my last videos, so like that's pretty cool. But this tenuous stability is threatened when the body of a newborn is found in the woods behind prestigious Ridgedale University, and Molly is assigned the story. Over the objections of her increasingly concerned husband, Molly dives into reporting, determined to prove herself by uncovering the truth. What she finds is a decades-old trail of dark secrets that winds through every corner of the town. Told from the perspectives of Molly, Barbara, wife of Ridgedale's police chief, whose faltering son is unraveling her picture-perfect life, and 16-year-old high school dropout Sandy, who is dealing with her wayward mother. Where they found her reveals that the tragic truth about what happened to the baby lies at the unexpected intersection of these three very different women's lives. It is a taut and profoundly moving novel about mothers and daughters, the fierce bond that unites them, and the deceit that can drive them apart. But most of all, it's about the heartbreakingly high price of history. The past can be artfully denied, but never truly buried. Okay, it sounds so good. I read this description obviously like a while ago, but I just like added this book as one that I wanted to read, and I just added it because it's Kimberly McCreight and because I'm excited to read a lot of her backlist, but I honestly forgot a lot of that premise. Like, holy shit, that's so exciting. I love thrillers that revolve around like reporter, like news reporter kind of jobs, and I love like any books that involve like mother-daughter relationships. So this sounds like it's got all the potential to be a 5-star book for me. So very excited. Like, I'm really hoping that next year is like a better year for the book troop, you know? Like, I would love if next year, if we could just have more 5-star books for everyone. That would be great. But yeah, that is all of the things. Yeah, if you have any last minute comments, I'm probably going to be jumping off of this live stream in a minute because we're already like an hour and 12 minutes in. I didn't think that this live show would go for this long, but that's awesome. If you missed it at the beginning of the live stream, I did announce that there is now officially a Discord chat for the book troop. It is public and it's live right now. It's free to join. It is linked down in the description of this video if you would like to join. And I already have everything set up for like January selection. So if you wanted to like start it early and read it now, everything's already up there, so you can go ahead and talk about it. I do have one chat that's just like the where they found her general chat, where you can just like update where you are in the book and everything, and it's non-spoilery. And then I do have another chat that's called like Spoiler Room, where you can go in there and discuss spoilers with people. So there's a place if you want to just talk about the book without spoilers and like with spoilers. So, you know, but yeah, Discord, it's finally happening. It's real, it's exciting, and it's all linked down below, so you can check it out, go and see if it's your thing. And yeah. So thank you so much to everybody who's joined this Book Troop Superlatives live show. I would love to know if you would like to see another live show like this next year. Like, if you think that this is like a fun way to like wrap up all of the selections of the year, because I think this was like really fun, and I think that I would like to do this again next year. I think this is like a better alternative for me than like having a pick for the month of December, just because the idea of having a book club pick in the month of December is just like really stressful, just because it's such a like busy time of year. And I know it probably is for like everybody else as well. So I know it's probably like not the most convenient time to try and read a book together, you know, but I think that this was like a super fun way to wrap up the year. So, so yeah, thank you so much to everybody for watching. It seems like a lot of you are down for this next year too. So that's pretty freaking cool. So yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you had fun with the book troop this year, because I had a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to next year. I have so many exciting things planned for next year, and yeah, I hope we have just as much fun with the book troop next year. So thank you so much for joining, and I will see you all later. Bye. Thanks.